Massive earthquake to end humanity is expected to strike. Well, that isn't terrifying. A self-proclaimed earthquake predictor named Frank Hoogerbeets has made a living forecasting earthquakes based on astrology and other planet alignment with Earth. And according to him, February 21st to March 7th will be a lethal time. About this, Frank says, "In this time frame, a rare planetary geometry will cause a significant seismic increase with probably 1 or 2 magnitude 7.8 earthquakes at least. But there's definitely the potential for a magna-thrust earthquake with a magnitude 8 or even 9. He said by March 4th there will be no less than 6 planetary alignments converging. This is apparently very rare and almost never occurs. Because of this, the date March 5th is a candidate for large seismic activity. But I wouldn't be too worried. Frank has made predictions in the past, none of which occurred. So until further notice, I think we're okay." Hey guys, welcome back to LP. I'm Court McGinley. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful Tuesday. I hope you're all having a wonderful week so far. Let me know down in the comments what you've been getting up to. As always, we have a bunch of interesting news stories headed your way, so without further ado, let's get started. Next, emergency broadcast warns ballistic missile heads towards Hawaii. For over 30 minutes, the residents and tourists of Hawaii thought a missile was making its way towards the island. Luckily, this was only a false alarm. I was in Hawaii back in November for my honeymoon, and I couldn't even imagine going through something like that. It must have been terrifying. Especially now more than ever, it's not an unlikely thing to have happen. The Hawaiian natives found out about this threat after they received an alert on their phones which read, "Ballistic missile threat inbound to Hawaii. Seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill." Also, television programs were interrupted by this warning. People were told to seek immediate shelter and stay away from the windows. During this time, the hundreds of people who were out and about walking the streets ran inside hotels and businesses. So for 38 whole minutes, people on the island believed they were about to possibly die. Imagine how terrifying that must have been. The only positive is that they experienced a trial run for if this day ever does come. Because even though it was a false alarm, the threat of nuclear war on Hawaii is very real. About this, the governor of Hawaii said, "It was a mistake made during a standard procedure at the changeover shift, and an employee pushed the wrong button." Wow. Yeah, if you're gonna screw up at your job, you might as well go big and terrify a whole island full of people into thinking they're about to die. About this, Trump said, "They made a mistake. That was a state thing, but we're getting involved now. They took total responsibility, but we're going to get involved." Their attitude and what they want to do, I think, is terrific. They took responsibility, they made a mistake. So what I can gather from the president's statement is that they took responsibility and they made a mistake. Yeah, I think that about covers it. Next, speaking of Trump, he has had some unfortunate new artwork at one of his hotels this past week. So as you know, last week Trump described several African countries as shitholes. He said, and I quote, "Why are we having all these people from shithole countries come here?" Yeah. President of the United States, everyone. Obviously, this didn't go over well. So an artist by the name of Robin Bell tried to show Trump what many people think of him. He projected the word shithole and a bunch of poop emojis onto Trump's International Hotel in Washington, D.C. Now, while yes, this is childish, I mean, Trump didn't have to say what he said. About Trump's absurd comment, he tweeted, "The language used by me at the DACA meeting was tough, but this was not the language used. What was really tough was the outlandish proposal made, a big setback for DACA." Next, last week I told you guys how Mark Wahlberg made $1.5 million for All the Money in the World reshoots. Well, Michelle Williams, his co-star, only made $1,000. Word got out and many actors were upset on Michelle's behalf for this unfair gender pay gap. It seems like Mark was unaware of this at the time, but after it was brought to his attention, he said he's donating his $1.5 million payout from the reshoots to a charity in Michelle's name. In a statement, Mark said, "Over the last few days, my reshoot fee for All of the Money in the World has become an important topic of conversation. I 100% support the fight for fair pay, and I'm donating the $1.5 million to the Time's Up Legal Defense Fund in Michelle Williams' name." After this, it was also announced that the talent agency that represents both Wahlberg and Williams will also be making a $500,000 donation to the same fund, also in Williams' name. For those of you who don't know, the Time's Up Fund was established to subsidize legal support to people who have dealt with sexual harassment in the workplace. It is administered by the National Women's Law Center. Michelle has stated previously that her and Mark are great friends, and I think Mark did an amazing thing here for her taking this stance. Next, on a more upbeat note, Toy Story Land is coming to Disney World. This is a very exciting day. Just gives us one more excuse to go back to Disney World. And with Toy Story 4 coming out, this place is going to get pretty crazy. Usually Usually with Disney movies, the second one bombs and that's it. But Toy Story is coming out with their 4th movie, so that's extremely impressive. And all of the installments are really good, except for number 3. Yeah, that one was a little too dark and made me cry. But unfortunately, we're gonna have to wait until 2019 to see what the toys are up to in the 4th installment. But lucky for us, we have Toy Story Land to hold us over. This place will be opening just in time for the summer of 2018. That's right, this place will become a reality this summer. How awesome is that? Toy Story Land will be located in Hollywood Studios, and it's apparently going to look just like Andy's backyard. About this, Disney said, "This is your chance to discover what it's like to be a toy, with all new attractions, quick and easy dining options, and so much more, amidst a colorful landscape filled with giant buildings, blocks, and game board pieces. You'll be immersed in an experience straight out of Andy's vivid imagination, together with Woody, Buzz, Slinky Dog, Rex, the aliens, and many other beloved Toy Story characters." Honestly, this is really making me want to just go home, jump in bed, and binge watch all of the Toy Story movies. Let me know if you'll be visiting Toy Story Land down in the comments. Next, Mark Zuckerberg lost $3.3 billion from his personal fortune. So basically losing this much money is enough to bankrupt an entire nation. However, for Mark, it's only a small drop in his net worth. The reason Mark lost this money is due to Facebook's newsfeed. As of last Thursday, the newsfeed began to prioritize posts from family members and friends over businesses. This resulted in the site's share value to drop by 4%. And according to Forbes, this means Mark would have taken a personal $3.3 billion hit. Imagine being so rich that losing $3.3 billion doesn't even faze you. About these changes, Mark said, "We built Facebook to help people stay connected and bring us closer together with the people that matter to us. But recently we've gotten feedback that public content is crowding out the personal moments that led us to connect more with each other. It's really impressive that he's taking this hit just to make people who use his site happier. I mean, he didn't have to do that. People would still use Facebook regardless." And there you have it. That's all the news stories I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.